Hello YouTube, my name is Nero and today we have some Call of Duty Black Ops 3 playing a bit of domination here on the map Exodus, which this may actually be the first gameplay on my channel of the map Exodus. Maybe, like, I forget this map is even in the rotation. It never actually gets voted for, but I voted for it this time because while playing Ground War last night, I got nothing, and I repeat guys, nothing but safeguard after safeguard after safeguard. I was just thirsting for some 9v9 domination. Like, for me personally, I would love to see safeguard just go in Ground War. Like, TDM's okay, Kill Confirmed was great, I wish that was back, and domination in Ground War is like my favorite thing to play most of the time. So once this popped up, I'm like, I don't care if it's a terrible map, I'm gonna vote for it because I would like to play some domination. We are running around here with the NX ShadowClaw Crossbow, which is one of the 5 new weapons that came to Black Ops 3 as a result of Tuesday's Black Market update. And ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud to say that this is my $300 NX ShadowClaw Crossbow because yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is right, I have spent $300 on supply drops since Tuesday's update, and I've only gotten one new weapon, this crossbow. We'll be talking much more about that later on here in this video, but before we do that, I would like to discuss the NX ShadowClaw Crossbow and just give you guys my general thoughts and opinions on the weapon so far, because I used it a lot last night, and it's actually an incredibly fun weapon to use. It is essentially a spammable ballistic knife from Black Ops 1 with just about the same arc and speed of the arrows that come out, so you can essentially spam this thing as if it were a ballistic knife, and it gets one-hit kills as if it were a ballistic knife. In my opinion, this is the first crossbow in Call of Duty to actually be a viable weapon in the multiplayer, though at the end of the day, it is just a gimmick weapon that is still outclassed by just about every single actual weapon most of the time. You're not going to be typically outgunning assault rifles at long range with this thing. You're not going to be taking out shotgunners at close range with this thing unless you get very lucky or you're incredibly accurate with it. It has 3 attachments by default. Now, they have the bayonet, which is actually kind of cool. They brought the bayonet back to Call of Duty, and they made it so it's only available for this weapon so far. Who knows if they add more weapons in the future. But you can add a bayonet to the weapon, which will make it so you can get 1 melee hit kills with it, which is pretty nice. They add in the tri-bolt, so essentially what it does is they'll shoot 3 shots at once, which are kind of close together, but they're kind of spread out at the same time, so it kind of like makes it so you can be a little bit less accurate with your crossbow and still get 1-hit kills on people, although it's a tri-bolt, therefore it's shooting 3, and you only have 6 shots in your clip magazine, what would you call this thing, by default, right? So you're essentially going to get 2 shots with the thing before you have to reload, and if that happens, typically you're going to die. My favorite attachment is actually dual wield. I personally prefer to use dual wield on this thing because it seems to double the effectiveness of the weapon by giving it more ammo, which is a giant problem if you're using this weapon, especially if you're like me at the time of me recording this video and you're too low of a level to actually have scavenger unlocked. It's definitely a big problem, and it also allows you to spam twice as much if need be, so it kind of just makes it so the weapon is twice as good as it was before, in my own personal opinion. And therefore, if you guys actually do get fortunate enough to unlock the ShadowClaw Crossbow, I recommend running dual wield on it. And for me personally, it was super easy to level it up because right now it's double XP and double weapon XP weekend, so it took like what, 4 games or something like that for me to basically like max out the weapon and get all the things unlocked for it. So I had the dual wield attachment pretty much right away with this weapon, so I didn't really have to mess around too much with the tribal or the bayonet on this weapon. The fun of the NX ShadowClaw Crossbow is adjusting for its trajectory and its arrow speed and having to lead your shots to take out moving targets. It's a weapon that I think once most players actually get their hands on, it's going to take them a lot of time to master this because you have to actually aim and lead your shots. It's quite similar to sniping in the Battlefield series in some respects. You have to be very accurate with your shots. You have to lead them. You have to adjust for how far they're going to be away and whether or not they're moving, what direction they're moving. It's pretty much like sniping in Battlefield, but of course on a much closer range because you're taking people out like 10 yards, whereas Battlefield you can take people out miles away if you're very accurate with your sniper, and you can adjust for exactly where they are and the trajectory and the bullet speed and all that stuff. So if you guys weren't aware, yesterday Treyarch did a live stream where they discussed the new weapons that were added to the supply drops, and they actually showed some live gameplay. The stream itself was really, if I'm being honest, it was a total fluff piece. Like, they didn't actually give us any new information or anything like that, but rather they just kind of sat there and talked about the guns and how fun they were to design and how fun they are to play with and why we should try to get them from supply drops. The chat itself, while watching this live stream, was livid the entire time, eventually devolving into nothing but complaints and pay-to-win hashtags. It was horrible, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I was participating in the chat a little bit when the live stream first started, like chatting up with people, like, yeah, this is gonna be fun. I wonder what they're gonna talk about. I wonder if they're gonna reveal something new, you know? And then just as the live stream went on and on, just people start getting angrier and angrier and angrier because they refuse to acknowledge the chat, and they refuse to acknowledge any complaints about how it is unfair that weapons are locked behind a slot machine paywall via supply drops. Now, allow me to say this right now, before we even go any further in the video, as somebody who has spent over $300 on supply drops in the past week, these weapons are not pay to win. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's pay to win. Look how the crossbow can kill in one shot. Yeah, any crossbow can. It's essentially a spammable ballistic knife. You know, also can get one-shot kills, sniper rifles, a Shiva with high caliber, a shotgun. Like, it's not pay to win. It's just a crossbow, guys. The ShadowClaw is just a fun gimmick weapon. The Garand is a 2-shot rifle, sure, but that's the same as the Shiva or the Draken. The Marshall 16 is a powerful shotgun pistol, but is incredibly ineffective at any sort of a range and also lacks the spammability of an actual shotgun. These are not pay to win weapons. They are just new and unique. One of the things that game developers try to do when they add new stuff into a game is they try to make it so it's unlike anything else that already exists within the game. So when they're going to be adding in new weapons into Black Ops 3, they're going to try to make them unlike any other weapon that already exists in Black Ops 3. So for example, the Garand, it is a semi-automatic rifle, but we kind of needed that because we only had one in the form of the Shiva. But this one's a bit different. It has an 8-round magazine. You can't reload it prematurely. It has that cool little ting sound, and it's a 2-shot kill at just about every single range. So it's kind of unique in that respect. The ShadowClaw obviously is unique. It's a crossbow. The shotgun pistols obviously very unique. You know, the sword and the tire iron, they're melee weapons. You know, they're unique weapons. So that's what they're trying to do here. They're not going to try and add in weapons that are overpowered. They spent actually a lot of time discussing if these weapons were overpowered, underpowered, and they spend a lot of time trying to tune them, and if they feel as though maybe they're underperforming, they'll buff them. If they're overperforming, they will nerf them. That's how they're going to be going about this. Now, of course, all these observations I've made based on these weapons are from watching other people's videos or facing people in game who have the weapons, because I don't even own them. It's actually possible for somebody like me to spend $300 on COD points, open up hundreds upon hundreds of supply drops, and still not be able to get these weapons. The drop chance is so incredibly low that it's an insult to the Black Ops 3 player base, in my opinion. I mean, $300 is 5 times the price of the base game, and I only got one weapon. That's absurd, right? Now, sure, for me, it's not that big of a deal. You know, I'm a Call of Duty YouTuber. These weapons, for me, are tools for which I make my videos. Buying supply drops is a business expense for me, the same way a carpenter would buy wood. The only difference is a carpenter doesn't have to play a slot machine to find out what kind of wood he's going to be able to be working with. I've also seen the criticism that I am perpetuating unfair microtransactions in gaming by purchasing these supply drops, which, in my opinion, guys, is honestly just an asinine argument, because supply drops are going to be there regardless. Every Call of Duty YouTuber out there is purchasing supply drops. They're making videos of them opening these supply drops. They're live streaming themselves opening these supply drops, and they're making videos and live streams using the weapons that they get from supply drops. For me not to do the same would be silly. It would be just like going back to the carpenter example, a carpenter refusing to buy materials because of some ambiguous moral reasoning. I just happen to be incredibly unlucky with my supply drops, having spent $300 to try to unlock these weapons, and I still only got one of them, which just further proves my point that I've been making since day one, that supply drops are very anti-consumer. I've said from the start that locking weapons behind the RNG paywall that is supply drops is incredibly anti-consumer. If they want to lock cosmetics behind a slot machine, I mean, fine. I mean, if they want to make it so you can get camos and specialist gear and calling cards and decals, all that stuff, that's great. I don't care about that whatsoever. That makes supply drops fun, because when you want to purchase some supply drops, or if you want to save up your crypto keys and actually unlock some of these things, it's fun to see what you're going to get. There's a lot of really cool cosmetic stuff here in Black Ops 3. But once they start adding in weapons, I mean, it's a whole different playing field at that point. There's people running around with guns that you don't have, not because they didn't level themselves higher than you, not because they paid more money than you or anything like that. It's just because they were more lucky than you. You know, there's Prestige Masters out there who don't have access to these weapons. There's people like me who are almost up to Prestige Master. I'm like halfway through I'm actually right under 7th Prestige, I think. And I spent over $300 in supply drops this week, and I didn't get these weapons either. Like, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's just all complete RNG, and it's super frustrating, right? It's super frustrating, but enough ranting. If you guys would like to hear my full thoughts and opinions on locking actual weapons behind a supply drop RNG slot machine paywall, feel feel free to click the video that is on your screen. You can click the annotation, it'll open up in a brand new window for you, or you can click the link at the very bottom of the video description and check out that video after you are finished with this one. Now, the NX ShadowClaw is an incredibly fun weapon to use. I've actually really been enjoying my time with my $300 crossbow, which is so sad to say. This is my $300 crossbow. Oh man, $300, what do I have to show for it? I have a lot of great camos, a lot of great specialist stuff, but ultimately in terms of weapons, I have this crossbow, so it is my $300 crossbow. I've actually finished up all the base kills for the weapon. Now I'm working to begin unlocking gold for it, which is going to be pretty fun. And side note, I've actually finished up Diamond Assault Rifles last night. I finally finished that all up, and now I'm working on submachine guns. I'm already done with the Kuda and the Weevil, and now I'm working on the VMP, and just ever slowly progressing towards Dark Matter. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please drop me a rating. Let me know your thoughts once again in the comment section below about the idea of adding in supply drop weapons to Black Ops 3 and whether or not you are for or against that idea. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Drop me a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.